In antiquity, of course, a temple with its altars and its big basins for lustrations, and the Jerusalem temple was a place where you went to carry out holy acts, sacrifices, and the like. And I feel that the Mormon experience of the temple has sort of restored that meaning to the word temple.
If you understand why we build temples, you must understand first that we believe in revelation and in the restoration of the gospel. And to restore means to bring back something that was lost, not a new invention, but a restoration of that which was known anciently.
Following the time of the Savior's life upon the earth, there were changes in religious belief and practice which were instituted among mankind, and the purpose and the place of temples was lost. That purpose was restored to the earth through the prophet Joseph Smith, when the gospel of Jesus Christ was restored in its fullness.
Historically, it is fascinating to note that even before the Mormon people began to look about for land for a possible meeting house or chapel, they simply continued to meet typically in homes or in out-of-doors locations, and began that early to look for a place for a temple.
In the early days, when the revelations first came that they were to build a temple, I suppose they didn't really know why, but they knew what. So when the church was established in Kirkland, they began the work of building the first temple in this dispensation.
The Kirkland Temple was a magnificent structure, maybe not so much from today's perspective in terms of a huge building, but when we think that the people who lived in the Kirkland, Ohio area were living in log cabins, and the saints chose to build their temple of stone, not of lumber, not of logs, but of stone. It represented their feelings that it should be a substantial building and one worthy to be called the house of the Lord.
I still weep in reading of the sacrifice that went into building that first little Kirkland temple, which had to be abandoned.
We actually had a temple in 1836, a preparatory temple, which we call the Kirkland Temple, which still stands, before we had any meeting house. And it was at that time a kind of multi-purpose building, and the understanding of the full, what we call the full temple blessings, was not clear at that point, but became clear later in Nauvoo in the 1840s. So the first temple that had within it all of the patterns and practices of covenant making, the first temple of that kind is in Nauvoo in 1844, and Joseph Smith did not live to see it completed.